so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
12:02 on Edmonton Sports Talk. Another chance to qualify in about 38 minutes for the EST Flyway to Vegas. If you're listening on TuneIn, iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, be listening for the word. And anything that we're talking about today on Two Guys and Goalie, of course, you can text us at 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, or just up in the nasty chat if you'd like to comment on the show today. It is game day. It is the Edmonton Oilers. It is the Los Angeles Kings. It is a big one. Cass, this should be a fun one tonight, shouldn't it?
You would hope so.
Yes.
You'd hope so. You know, Leon Draisaitl coming out and being like, there's always a little more juice in these games, and it kind of feels like there is. I mean, there's a little bit more of that playoff atmosphere. You know, they don't like each other very much. They like beating the other team. It's I think the stage is set for a fun game, gentlemen. Stage is set.
Gager, I had somebody on the lock shop there, Rod Z, today said the Oilers are 0-8. And their last 8 games at home against teams that come in on a winning streak. So he's always got these great trends. I don't know how many of them I buy into. But your thoughts on the Kings are playing extremely well right now. The Oilers have been winning games. It's been a little bit up and down at times. Coming in after, I would think, an emotional win over the Jets to wrap up that road trip. What type of game are you expecting tonight, Gager?
Look no further than to a couple Saturday nights ago against the Colorado Avalanche. I think this is another clash of the Titans, two teams that are most likely going to see each other again in the first round. This is a message sending time. You've got mail that this is what it's going to be like over a 7-game series. This is where the thing I want to see most, guys, in this game is a response to maybe some players on the other side if they do take liberties with the Oilers' skill. How are the Oilers going to respond? Are they going to be defend mode, or are they going to go, I'm going to go let Anse Kopitar smell my glove for a little bit, or Adrian Kempe is gonna does he have padding? But I just want to check if he has a little padding behind his shin pads in the back of the legs, right? That's what I want to see. That little bit of accidental on purpose with a little salt in the wound, so to speak. I want to see some sandpaper tonight.
Cash, you think you get that? Is that the best way to play the Kings?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to see, you just want to see the push back. It's not like they have to be, absolutely abuse them physically, but it's like you want to see the push back. Like you want to see that edge in their game. You want to see Corey Perry doing Corey Perry things. You want to see Evander Kane being physical, Vinny Desharnais, cross-checking guys, finishing his hits, like laying the lumber on some people in front of the net when you can get away with it. Like you want to see that in the game. And it's like this game does have very real playoff implications. Like this is a game to help you secure home ice if you're the Edmonton Oilers. And for the LA Kings, this is a game to claw closer to getting home ice advantage in that first round, which, jury's always out on what that truly means, or if it always, is going to set you apart, or if it's going to be the difference maker in a series. But I think it's important mentally to have that. And, with playing a team that you're probably going to be playing in the first round this close to the season being done, important to go and feeling good against them. But yeah, you want to see a little nasty in the Oilers games. Just
Cash,
a little nasty.
You brought up the playoff home ice thing. Like a win tonight goes a long way in the Oilers, especially in regulation, goes a long way for the Oilers to wrap up home ice in the first round. I threw out this question last night. We're about 2,000 votes on this thing. How much do you think home ice matters in a first-round series between the Oilers and Kings? Very much is at 49.3%. A little bit is at 38.8%. Not at all is just shy of 12%. Maddie, what do you think about? Where would you fall in that? A little bit or very much home ice matters?
He asked you, Matty.
Oh, I thought he asked you.
No,
Sorry.
I was you, and I thought you were unmuting. I was like, "What's going on with Cass?"
No, I thought you asked him. Sorry, I missed that part of it.
A little bit or very much?
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't say it matters very much, but it does matter a little bit. Again, I think it gives you a little bit of an edge mentally. You get the line matchups, and teams typically have a better record at home, and the Oilers, I think, have for the most part played better at home this year. Now they stretches where they were bad, but Zach Hyman's scoring at home at least 2 goals a game, so I think it does give you a little bit of an edge. Not a massive one, but a little bit.
Gage, are you a little bit, or are you a big one here?
If I look at the Kings this year, like they came out of the gates quite well on the road, if memory serves me correctly. So there's a little bit of recency bias of how well they did at the beginning of the year being on the road. So I don't think it matters at all to this point, does it? I almost think it would benefit the Oilers going into LA for the first 2 games. I like that. I consider them a favorite anyways, regardless of who has home ice advantage. To put the pressure on the Kings, I always thought that it would be advantageous to be able to pick. If you're the higher seed, you should be able to choose whether you want to start on the road or at home.
So do you want Game 7 at home, or do you want Game 7 on the road? Or it's more about the start. You want to start. Yeah. I see what you're
always
saying.
if you get to pick, you always get that Game 7 at home regardless. But I think you should have the choice of whether to start at home on the road. And if I'm the Oilers, I say, you know what? Let's go in there and take those first 2. Let's put them right back on their heels.
Cass, you mentioned a couple of reasons you want home ice advantage in a series against the Kings. What is the biggest advantage of home ice advantage? Is it the crowd here? Is it the matchups that you want to get? What would you say would be the biggest? For example, Penner's Pancakes makes a good point. Oilers special team stats much better at home this year than on the road. Yeah. On the road, their penalty kills trash. So, what would be the biggest advantage?
It's been good. Yeah. I think that's it. Is your comfort level at home. Now, the crowd, does the crowd factor into it? It can. I think the biggest thing that a good crowd in the playoffs does is it adds to your momentum swings when you have a good momentum swing. Right. And it probably adds to your bad momentum swings when you're not playing well. Right. The quietness of the crowd, you feel a little bit more. The loudness of the crowd, you feel it a little bit more. Like it just exaggerates that sort of thing. And I think that, if I kind of summed it all up, it kind of would be that. It's just your comfort level at home. You're at home. You're in the playoffs. You have your home crowd. People are cheering for you. And statistically, if you win one game or if you win the first 2 games, like, statistically, you're in really good shape in a series to win the series. If you sweep those first 2 games at home, and again, I don't think it's a massive advantage, but I just think that comfort level of being at home, having the home crowd behind you, and for the Oilers in particular, they've just played better at home as a whole. That penalty kill you mentioned, exactly that. It's been better at home. You want to be at home.
Nielson, Cass, and Gage with you here on 2 Guys and a Goalie. Today, the Oilers get the Kings tonight. We were asked this question during 3 Questions Too Many today. I thought I'd carry it over to 2 Guys and a Goalie. Who is the one player that concerns you the most on the Kings if these 2 teams do end up meeting in a head-to-head again? Gage, you can take this one first.
I got to go with my boy, YTT. It's
Trev.
Adrian Kempe. When I watch Adrian Kempe play, he gives me nightmares as a goalie. He just the shot he possesses, his dynamic ability to get into open spots. I think he's the most dangerous player on the Los Angeles Kings. And looking at the games, he kind of has Stuart Skinner's number. a little bit. Like I think he has Stuart Skinner kind of guessing where he's going to shoot. You watch where he places those shots. There's not some place where he always tries to go. He's looking to what Stuart Skinner is giving him, and he's putting in that spot where he has to make a save or it's going in the net. This guy, man, he's an awesome player. I love watching him play. He is by far the deadliest on the LA Kings.
Cass, who would you say? Probably too early. I was going to say probably too early for Byfield, right? Like Byfield is a phenomenal talent. He's coming around, but just not yet.
He's getting there. I think I've called. I can't remember if I did this season. I think last season. I don't remember if that's who I said this season. I have to go back and watch a tail of tape. I think last season I had picked Byfield as a breakout player in the West.
You were a year early on him.
It didn't really happen. I was a year early on him, and this year he's just exploded and fantastic. We might still be a year early on him to say that, but you never know. I mean, man, he has all the makings of being just an absolutely stellar playoff player as well. Like with his toolkit, being with increased physicality, increased speed, being able to play in the corners and in front of the net because he can. He certainly is. Yeah, he could be that. It could be this year for him, maybe a year early. Maybe a year early, but yeah, I think the emergence of Quinton Byfield it adds a little bit of a wrinkle because if he can play and even up his game more than he has already this season, he could be an impact player.
Pierre-Luc Dubois just signed that big deal with Sleep Country, softest pillows in the league. Make sure you get out there, so that's always good.
Fraud Chicken says Kempe. But Byfield is starting to look scary, and that's what we're talking about. That's why I got him on McDavid's wing on the Olympic team, for goodness sakes. Imagine that guy in 2 more years. It's going to be crazy. Guys, to the home ice advantage conversation, of course, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Hit us up in the nasty chat as well. Andrew says, to the home ice advantage, I don't think it matters as much in the NHL. It would matter more if the series went 2-3-2. Like in the NBA. Yeah, Cass, any take on that? Does home ice mean more in a 2-3-2 setup? I mean, if you go on the road and win one, you got a real chance to kind of lock it up at home.
Real chance to lock it up. I don't know. I like the 2-2-1-1-1 setup.
It's the traditional thing, right?
Yeah, I know that means more travel, but I like the statistically winning it at 5 at home. But that, with that being said, there's a lot of series that go to 6 games or 7 games, and having the last 2 at home, game 6 and game 7 at home, can be an advantage. But I know even from a financial standpoint, owners like with the money coming in, where it's like, okay, you get the extra home game by having playoff. Probably the extra home game if the game goes more than 4 games.
Yeah.
You get the first extra game at home in a series that goes to 5 games or more. So they probably like that a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, I do think I like the traditional 2-2-1-1-1. Does home ice advantage mean more with the 2-3-2? Maybe. I don't know. I think it's more about the money.
You get to close at home. 6 and 7. You might like that ability if the series is 3-2 at that point. D. White is asking, guys, what's the other starting lineup tonight? I believe I saw that they're running it back. Same lineup that they had against the Winnipeg Jets. We'll get to that Jets game in just a second here. We're just on we're talking here about home ice advantage in a playoff series between the Oilers and Kings right now. And one of the advantages you want is to get the line matchups that you want. Byfield, Kempe, Kopitar, really good line. Gager, if you're a Chris Knobloch tonight, who are you trying to run out there against them?
I go best on best. I think I want to, well, maybe selfishly, I just want Connor going up against a Kopitar. I think there's a speed advantage, definitely. There is a size and ability with Kopitar, and he is one of the best. But I think sometimes when you get a matchup where you have one of the best two-way centers over the past decade going up against arguably the best offensive player of all time in Connor McDavid, I love that matchup. And I think by doing that, and I know they probably, they try to get Deneau on there, but I would rather see Connor go up against that more so just to hopefully eliminate the time that Adrian Kempe has the puck. And maybe that line can play more in the offensive zone than you see with Kopitar and Byfield and Kempe.
I like McDavid against the Kopitar line because I think Deneau plays McDavid really well.
Yeah,
like I think he gets pretty dialed in going up against McDavid. Like I think he likes that challenge, and he's done a pretty good job of it typically in the playoffs where he's played McDavid well. So if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I'd try to get that matchup. Now, if you can, because you have home ice advantage, and if you can get McDavid's line out against the Pierre-Luc Dubois line, I mean, more power to you. Do that all you can. But LA is going to try to get away from that as much as possible, and you're not always able to do it. But if I'm picking between the top two lines, I probably want McDavid against Kopitar, which, I mean, both lines are a challenge. Like, those are two really good lines. Like, both Kopitar's line with Byfield and Kempe, you want to, as Gager said, limit Kempe's time with the puck. He just seems to create against the Edmonton Oilers. And then that Deneau line has the capacity to shut you down, as well as chip in some offense, too. So two really good lines. I lean, along with Gager, towards having him play against the Kopitar line.
And don't you guys I want to see that third line matchup. I want to see what, if McLeod's doing his Top Gun impersonations and buzzing the towers all night, or what's he going to do against Pierre-Luc Dubois? There's a lot of sandpaper on those third lines when you really look at the Los Angeles Kings too. With you have Arvidsson, Dubois, Laferriere. I'm interested. I'm intrigued by that third line. I hope they want to see what that looks like.
I was just going to add, I don't see a lot of physical contact between McLeod and Dubois as the two centers on the third line. But if
that's why you want that matchup.
That's one guy you don't have to worry like McLeod being bullied out of a playoff series. Play him head to head against Pierre-Luc Dubois. He's gonna look like Wendell Clark out there if that ends up happening. But if you were to match up, and if the Oilers are running back the exact same lines that we saw last game, if you were going to roll McLeod with Kane and Perry against Arvidsson, Dubois, and Lafreniere, Cass, I mean, that's advantage Oilers, is it not? Especially if Kane's going?
Yeah, I think if Kane's going, yes, that's the kicker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kicker, right? Because he hasn't been going. If Kane's going, yes. Yep, I think advantage Oilers. If Kane's not going, probably slight advantage to the LA Kings.
At least a toss-up, yeah.
Yeah, or at least a toss-up. I think, if you – and really that's going to be a big driver in a playoff series against the LA Kings is going to be, what version of Evander Kane are you getting? Are you getting him at his highest playoff-like level of intensity and engagement and physicality? Because if you are, having him on a third line going up against that group, I think he could have an impact. Could have a huge impact.
Gage, you were on post game coming out of that game against the Winnipeg Jets. We haven't had a show since Tuesday. Obviously, it was a big one. They didn't start well. Skinner was great early in that game. Second period, the Oilers kind of took over. We're up 3-1 with about 12, 13 minutes left. And then, didn't let it officially slip away because they ended up winning overtime, but they did blow a 2-goal lead here in that hockey game against the Winnipeg Jets. Gage, are you concerned about recent leads not being locked down like they were during the winning streak? It was like they got up by 1 and you were like, but there's no chance they're blowing it. It just seemed like an automatic that they were going to lock it down. Not as much recently, Gager. Do you have second thoughts? Do you worry about that at all?
No. Well, if we're looking to just the last Jets game, no. But during that stretch, there was such good game management, right? They weren't giving the other teams very good chances to get back into the game. The point that I look at in the Jets games was Vinny Desharnais trying to get the puck out on his backhand, being pressured. That's what caused the goal. Gave the Jets life. The Jets are a really good team. Like, they're going to look for any opportunity you allow a really good team to get back into the game. They're probably going to take advantage. Up to that point, the game management of the Oilers was quite good. So to really answer your question, Dusty, I'm not really too worried. It's just total focus in those areas. We always hear the old adage, 2-goal leads kind of the worst lead in hockey because
I would take a 2-goal lead over 1-goal lead.
I know, but I'm saying the 1-goal lead is better because you're a little bit more intense with the puck, knowing that you're one mistake away from being a tie game, right? 2-goal lead, you might tend to let off the gas pedal a little bit more, and that's what happened in that case. But no, I think I don't mind the Oilers' game management at that point. It's just everyone else is playing at a really high level at this time of year as well.
Cass, I bring it up because in their last 9 games, they've had 2-goal leads that they let slip away 4 times in their last 9 games, if my math is correct. Now, they ended up winning 2 of those 4 games in which they let the 2-goal lead slip away, the Montreal game and then this Winnipeg game. But, 4 times over their last 9 games, being up by 2 and then needing to either win it in overtime or you just let it slip away in regulation. I mean, that's kind of a trend at this point.
Yeah, it's not as automatic as it was for a little bit, which is something you'd like to see them get back to. Now, does that necessarily carry over to the playoffs? I don't know. I don't know if it does, but yeah, I mean, give me a 2-goal lead over a 1-goal lead all day. I know the phrase, I know the saying, but it's like I'd rather have 2-goal cushion than a 1-goal cushion, and I think most players would probably agree with me. Now, maybe just the mentality is, even saying that phrase in the dressing room or in your head is almost more for the team that's losing, right? Like you're saying, oh, it's a 2-goal lead. Where's lead in hockey? Because we get one. Now we got the momentum, but you still have to get another one.
Whoever originally came up with 2-goal leads, the worst lead in hocky, I would love to know where it first originated. I would love to know who first came up with that.
It was probably like probably
because it was never safe.
Two guys and a goalie. Man. 780-218-9999. This is a real good question. And if you have really good questions, send them in. If you got garbage questions, I keep them to yourself. We'll answer anything.
Send them in. We just won't read them.
Well, depending on how busy we are, I may still read some of the garbage questions. Maybe. So 780-218-9999. This is a good question from the Toontown Beast for Gager. And this, I'm curious about this. I'm curious about this answer too. Guys, for Gager, they say a hitter gets the edge if he faces a pitcher 3 times in a game. How does that work for a goalie over a game or a series? Should the Oilers have left Skinner out tonight if it's a shooter's edge if you see them in the first round of the playoff? Gager, I'm curious. I think this is a great question. What's the answer here of seeing a goalie over and over and over again in the playoff? Does it advantage slide to the shooter?
You can't. It's hard to. That's a great question, but it's not that realistic, because pitchers in baseball they control the offense, right? You can, and it's a static position. That goaltenders, you can't really compare them to batters in a sense, because you're kind of looking for offense. It's a weird combination to really look at. I think if you really break it down, I think you have to give the advantage to a goalie in a sense, because as a goalie you start picking up on tendencies of how guys like to shoot. Like when you, as a goalie, you don't even have to look at the upper part of the body to a guy. You know who's shooting on you, the way the stick is, their skates, the way their hands are before they shoot, the release points. What makes really good goal scorers great is the release point from where the puck comes off their stick and how they set themselves up for shooting. I equate really good goal scorers to almost like a boxer that works in between, like they work in milliseconds in between times. That's why sometimes a perfect example is Monahan. The other game, he shot the puck from a place where he was moving his feet, and it was an odd place to take a shot. And you saw Skinner didn't move, right? It caught him in those places where guys don't normally shoot the puck. It was a real goal scorer shot, and you could see it. It hit 2 posts. Those guys that change the way that they shoot every time, that's really difficult. If it's a guy that, lack of a better term, like Fogle always shoots the same way every time. It's as hard as he possibly can. The puck's on the same spot of his blade every time. His hands are usually always in the same position. You know when he's going to shoot. A guy like Kempe, watch when he shoots the puck. His feet will be in different positions. His hands won't be always in the same spot, and it's hard to pick up. So that I'd have to say advantage goalies, because you're almost ready for that a little bit more with the really good players.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy into it being the same as baseball at all. Like with the hitter's advantage, and I think you see that especially when goalies are hot in a playoff series. It can be really tough to beat them, and it's just so much more dynamic than having a pitcher throwing specific types of pitches that have similar types of movement. Like, and as Gager said, the guys that are the best goal scorers in the league. So if you look at Ovechkin over the last number of years, if you look at like an Austin Matthews, if you look at those type of players, the way that they shoot now, Zach Hyman may be a little bit more of an exception because he's like garbage stuff around the net when the goalie's not there, like picking up rebounds and stuff. That's a different type of goal scoring. But for like a Matthews, it's either really, really quick, like it gets away fast, like release time is basically nothing. So it's on the stick, off the stick. It's there and it's gone. He's not catching it, stick handling it 3 times and then shooting, allowing the goalie to fully set it. It's like it's on a stick, it's gone. On the stick, gone. And so that means because when guys, there's a few things that happen and this would be a Fogle thing. So as to Gagers, it's the same thing every time. So typically when Fogle catches it, and this is hard for me to do. It's a really, really hard skill. And this is why there's not a lot of guys that are really great at doing this. And for young players, this is something that you can consistently and always work on, is not having to stick handle the puck before you shoot. Not having to stick handle the puck before you shoot. Because when you stick handle it, what's players are doing when they do that is they're moving the puck to a position on their blade where they want to shoot it. Typically more with curves now, more towards the toe of the stick. When players don't have to do that, so it's on your forehand and it's on your forehand the whole time. The second engager, I mean, you could talk about this all day. As a goaltender, the second that I stick handle the puck, I'm taking away my own time and space if I'm moving. So if I'm moving towards the net, I've taken away time or space. I've allowed the goalie time to adjust. And when the puck's on my backhand, as I'm stick handling it, guess what I'm not doing? I'm not passing it and I'm not shooting it. And the goalie knows where the puck isn't going. Now, if it's on my forehand the whole time and I don't stick handle it, well, it could be a pass, could be a shot. Like you don't know. And if you don't have to do the little forehand backhand thing, it becomes that much more dangerous. And the other thing with that is when players keep it on the forehand, changing the angle slightly, even by 2 or 3 inches, can make a huge difference. So if you watch the best shooters, as they're going to shoot it, they're pulling the puck or pushing the puck, depending on the direction that they're moving, where they'll push it a couple inches and shoot it, or they'll pull it a couple inches, even if it's half an inch, even if it's an inch. That little change of the angle is what really separates people that are, just players of the NHL that are some of the best players in the world and those elite level scorers. Makes a huge difference. And I just don't think in the playoffs, again, now if you said we were doing shootouts and you had like 3 shots on a goalie in a single game, 3 penalty shots. Well, yeah, at that point, I'd give advantage to the shooter. But in the flex of the game and the chaos of the game, I do think it's advantage goalie. Or I don't think the goalie's advantage goes away, because you play them 3 times in a row. So, the thought of sitting Stuart Skinner tonight makes 0 sense to me. 0 sense to me based on that.
Gage, I don't want to go too like inside science here, but how in the hell do you guys how does a goalie track the puck and the placement of the blade as well as you guys talk about goalies having to do that and needing to do that and how much something so little can change like the direction of a shot? Like I think back to that short side goal that Stützle scored on Skinner. Like, I wonder if Stützle did anything that just at the last second sort of changed the way that puck was coming off his stick.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good skill to go inside out, especially coming down. It's repetition, Dusty. That's what it comes down to. You get so used to seeing it. And yeah, I mean, that's what I tell guys too, is when I work hockey schools and you have young shooters and they're shooting the puck, sometimes I tell them to just switch it up a little bit. They don't shoot it a little bit quicker, have your hands closer together in this specific drill. And it's so funny to watch goalies. All of a sudden you can see it because they're just not prepared because they get so used to a way that a guy shoots. And it's almost giving away secrets to shooters. And I hate to do that, but you can see the light bulb go on with them and go, oh, I can using a little bit more misdirection with your shot it's night and day, and how you can fool goalies. But yeah, it's just what I always see on a regular basis. I knew when certain guys were going to shoot the puck because they had to get it in a certain spot. Everything had to be perfect.
The shot wasn't coming until they were there, right? You're just like, okay, when he gets here,
it just wasn't. I could just wait on it, just like kind of. I guess that's a good analogy to a curveball, right? Because I knew it was. Once they started doing it the same way, I knew the shot wasn't coming until it was perfect. Kind of sitting on a curveball and waiting to make the save.
And whoever brought up these the Cass movie reviews over on YouTube, I'm not ready for it. What's this one, Cass? Every movie's a rom-com? Is that one of your takes?
You guys didn't know that? Every movie is a rom-com. They're all rom-coms. Every single one. Yep.
I was listening.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say,
Taken. If we go back to Leslie Nielsen,
Liam Neeson.
If we go back to Taken, Liam Neeson, the original Taken, that's a rom-com.
How is that a rom-com?
Well, it's a romance. It's about the love of a man and his family. So it's a rom-com, and his love of having a particular set of skills. It was a comedy because we were probably all laughing at how he's taking these guys down. So rom-com.
Go ahead.
Even
Gage.
John Wick, if you really look at it, it's the love between a man and his dog, essentially.
Yeah, and he misses his wife.
Yeah, he misses his wife.
And it is hilarious. So that fits the bill as well. I was just gonna say, I was listening to I'm partway through the Knocked Up episode of Bill Simmons, The Rewatchables, and he said it transitioned from rom-coms to com-roms, where they went from like romantic movies that were comedies to comedies that had some romance in them. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's kind of a. But now the Cass has this great theory that every single movie's a rom-com, which is good. All right, let's keep moving along. We'll get to a few more of your text messages rolling in as well. And yeah, we'll get to a few more of those. Keyword for Vegas coming up here. In about 5 minutes as well. So you know what we'll do, because I want to do a little experiment here on we'll go through the playoffs as they are today and pick the series winner and just see who we have as a Stanley Cup champion here heading into Easter weekend. So we'll save that after I give out the keyword. But I did put this little bad boy together because I know all the listeners love this. I've got 5 names for Who Am I? Kings Edition. Okay, so I'm going to throw out the clue. You guys get it. I mean, one might win it today. One might win it, maybe two. Maybe two wins it. You can play along over in the Nasty Chat. But Cass or Gage, don't be watching. Don't be looking for answers in the Nasty Chat. Eyes up here. Eyes up here, boys.
That's cheating.
I'm looking at the playoff matchups as they are.
So we'll get into that coming up here just after. But Who Am I? Kings Edition. All right, boys, let's start here. If you can't get this one, I might just cancel the rest of them, but that's okay. I was drafted by both the Oilers and Flames, but won cups with the Kings. Who am I? Yeah, Gager.
Is it Colin Fraser?
No, it's not Colin Fraser, Gager.
No. Go Cups. Oh, shoot.
Drafted by both. Can you say the question?
He got drafted by both the Flames and the Oilers, but won cups with the Los Angeles Kings. Who am I? Travis, who's that? Who's yelling that out there? Maddie's yelling it. Maddie's got it. He's very disappointed in you.
Drafted
by the Oilers and the Flames, but won cups with the Kings?
Yeah. I'll give you more clues because I got these ones off the top of my head.
Okay.
I played for the Kootenay Ice, and I am now a broadcaster.
Oh, Jared Stoll.
There you go. All right.
And he gets 2 guesses. So
Well, that's a new rule. No, that's a new rule here now. Because this game, you guys have struggled with this. You have many guesses as you want. Just somebody spit out the right answer. All right. Gager has it.
Fair.
All right, here we go. Gager has 1. If he hangs on 1-0, I get to cancel this game forever. I had a 100-point season for the Kings, then a 100-point season for the Oilers the very next season. Who am I? 100 points for the Kings, and then the very next season, 100 points for the Oilers. Must have been a pretty good player.
Bernie Nichols?
Oh, that's what I was just going to say. Wow, I was just going to say Bernie Nichols, too. I was like, that's the only one in my head.
He also didn't have 100 points any other season, these 2 seasons.
Oh, but he flipped, but that was after.
Is it?
I mean, I was gonna. Is it? No, Yari Curry went. That's backwards.
I'm gonna add to it again. I'm gonna add to it again. I was traded for Wayne Gretzky.
Craig Simpson.
I can't even.
Oh, he went the other. No, it was
Wait a minute, coming the other way, boys.
Yeah,
Marty no, not Marty McFly.
No, it's what's
horrible.
his name? Oh shoot.
Jimmy Carson, boys.
I can't.
Jimmy Carson.
Jimmy Carson.
Carson.
That's who I meant.
All right.
Carson.
Okay, I don't know about these other chances. This is going to be tough. I'm a defenseman from the Ukraine. I'm sorry, I should have picked this guy. I'm a defenseman from the Ukraine who had the 2 best seasons of my career with the Kings before being traded in a deal to the Sabres that involved Grant Fuhr.
Zhitnik?
Yes! Gager, well done, sir. Holy smokes, I'm stunned. I'm stunned that the Zhitnik just got dropped. My goodness.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Number 3. I'm a
Jake Muzzin.
all right, here we go. I'm a French-born goaltender that started my career in Quebec, finished it very briefly in Montreal, but spent 5 years in between with the Kings.
Is it? I want to say Red Light. Is it Red Light?
No,
Rasico?
it's not Rasico. No.
Mark LaForest?
No. Gage, you're just dropping
close.
names here. Come on, Cass, give me one.
Ukraine goaltender.
No, not a
No,
Ukraine.
not a Ukraine.
Cass,
Almost said Ziggy.
French-born goaltender.
It's French.
French-born goaltender.
Was it,
Daniel Berthiaume.
No.
What?
I'm gonna stretch this. I'm gonna give you guys this player's initials. All right, SF are my initials.
Stefan Fiset.
There we go, Gager.
Yeah,
There we go, Gager.
No.
All right, final one. Gager's got this locked up, but let's see if he can pick up a 4th. I was a 2nd-round pick of the Islanders and spent 6 years there with my hair flowing in the wind before being traded in a blockbuster deal for Olli Jokinen, among others.
Was it not Ziggy Falk?
Yeah, Cass on the board.
Oh,
nice work, Cass.
Ziggy.
Nice work, Cass.
Ziggy.
You know what? You guys did
I
not
was trying to
bad.
think of guys with the flow. Ziggy had the flow.
You got 4 of the 5, boys. Gager, congratulations on the win, but that was pretty good. I like that.
I like that.
The Zhitnik answer really turned things around. Yeah, I was worried after Jimmy Carson. I was like, uh-oh, where are we going?
I knew it was Carson, though. I think we knew it was. I just forgot the name.
Yeah. That's not easy. I mean, we're going back. Cass, you were barely even born then, really.
Yeah.
Right? What year were you born, Cass?
I was in 86.
Okay, all right, so you would have been young. You would have been young then, for sure. All right, let's give you the key word. Then we'll dive into these the playoff matchups right now. The key word today for 2 guys and a goalie to get in on the EST Flyway. Our partners teaming up with us at FlyYG and the LVCVA, giving us the 2 nonstop flights, 3 nights accommodations, tickets to a Cirque show, nonstop flights over 50 destinations. Your sports trip starts with a nonstop flight from FlyYEG. Visit www.flyYEG.com for more. The keyword today on 2 Guys and a Goalie is magic. Magic, MAGIC. Text MAGIC to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. MAGIC is the key word. Fire it in right now. We'll give you about 10 minutes to get in. 780-218-9999. Keyword today is MAGIC. Best of luck, everybody. Magic is your keyword at 780-218-9999. Do you guys dabble in any magic? Cash, you do magic for the girls every once in a while, or what?
I got a couple tricks. So this is a funny story. I'll send you guys a picture, but this is a couple years ago now. My wife and I, on occasion, we have some friends that love to do like murder mystery parties, like where it's like, you show up, those, and you have a character to play, and you do that. Like, and they're pretty fun. And so we did one that was like a casino. It was like a casino night was the theme, and the character I got assigned was a magician. Now the character was written was like classic magician, like wearing a tuxedo and a top hat and that. But I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I decided to go like the Chris Angel sort of magician route. So I got like a long wig, and I got a bunch of fake tattoos and just covered like all my neck and all down my arms everywhere. And I have tattoos, but you can't see them when I'm wearing like a golf shirt, really. And so I'm like tattoos everywhere. I got my wife, which was excruciating, to put on like mascara and eyeliner on me, like around the eyes. And as part of it, I spent like, because so I have ADD and I will hyperfocus on things, and I got obsessed with this. So I really got into like learning different card tricks, because part of my role was I had to figure out how to steal people's, because it was like a casino night, I had to steal their chips. Like that was like one of my objectives, was I had to steal X amount of like value in chips from people. That was like one of my roles or whatever things I was supposed to do. And so, I worked on a whole bunch of different magic tricks and card tricks in particular. And then I worked on like palming chips. So I, basically steal them. So yeah, I got a couple good card tricks from that. Now I'd have to brush up on them again, because I haven't done them in a while, but I got pretty good with a few of them with sleight of hand on different things, which was fun. So I got a couple. I got a few.
Gage, are any magic tricks in your holster here?
No, not that I can really think of. It's hard to perform my magic these days with teenagers in the house, and I tell my wife that. But the only magic that happens if they're at the friend's place and gone, and usually that's just a vanishing act, really.
I come from a family of magic. Actually, my great grandpa was Haddad the Magician in Cranbrook, BC. He was also the mayor of the town, but he was also Haddad the Magician, and he would do a trick. My grandma has a twin sister, and he would do a trick where he would have one of them float, and he would it was like legit. He was kind of legit. He used to come into like when it's like bring show and tell in kindergarten. I'd bring my great grandpa in, and he'd do magic for the class. And he was great, because there's always that one little a-hole kid who's like, I know how you do that. And he'd give him chirps back good. But he did this one where he would like throw a quarter around the kindergarten room, and then it would land in a paper bag. But the bag had been empty, but now the quarter was in it. And we were all like, oh my God, this is amazing. So yeah, I'm a big fan of magic. We were on go ahead, guys.
I just sent you guys a picture.
You dressed as Chris Angel?
Yeah, well, is my magician. Yeah,
that's
pretty awesome.
We do the one with the dog with the sheet over our heads, and then jump into the other room and drop it, and we're not there, and we record it, and he freaks out.
Okay,
and goes, where did everyone go? So that's the extent of the magic, I guess.
Cash, you're really creepy. You're really creepy in this photo.
Jeez,
oh yeah,
yeah. You feel like you could have been in the movie 8mm with Nick Cage back in the day. That's a real creepy look. Also, oh geez, I don't know. I don't know if you can spin 8mm into being a rom-com. My God, that's every movie's a rom-com is going to get a good run on this show. All right, so I said we go through the playoff matchups and just kind of see how this ends up playing out. So right now in the National Hockey League, we'll work our way all the way through this thing. We got about 5, 6, 7 minutes. It'll be more than enough to get it done. So these are the playoff matchups as of today, and I'll just keep track of our winners, and we'll go through the bracket, and we'll see who we think right now we're going to end up being the Stanley Cup champion. So if the playoffs started today, Boston versus Tampa. Tampa's been red hot. Boston's been hanging around this year for sure. Gager, who do you like, Boston or Tampa?
I'm going to have to go with Boston. I think, they just from what happened last year, I think they won't let what happened last year affect them this year.
Cass, you on the Bruins in that one as well?
Yep.
Okay. I think I would actually go Tampa in a bit of an upset, but you guys got Boston, so we'll go Boston there.
Boston. Yeah, it's not happening again.
Florida, Toronto. No, Leafs aren't beating the Panthers, right? Okay. We'll leave that one there for now.
Florida.
Rangers, Caps.
Rangers.
And Carolina. And anybody think Philly's going to knock off Carolina? Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. Well, let's just stick in the East here then. Rangers, Hurricanes. If they met today, who do you have?
Ooh, that's going to be a battle.
I'm going to go Carolina with the new additions.
They have been good. Kuznetsov and Gensel.
Goaltending though. I go Rangers in 7.
So I have to break the tie. I'm going to side with Gensel and the Carolina Hurricanes. Okay, Boston, Florida.
Oh,
Great series.
Yeah, great series. I think Florida gets it.
I'm going to go with Boston. I run into Jake DeBrus too much at Friesen Brothers.
All right, so I'll tie break this again. I mean, Florida was there last year. I mean, Florida, and they weren't. I'm going to go Florida. I'm going to take Florida there. So, Florida, Carolina, East Final.
Oh God, Florida, better goaltending.
Cass.
Well, I mean, I picked New York. So I guess I'll go Florida.
All right, so Florida. All right, Florida advancing to another Stanley Cup final. Okay, on the other side, Dallas versus Vegas in the first round today if it happened. Cass, who are you on? Remember, this is the playoff Golden Knights, so they'll have more players than they have now.
So they'll have 145 million in salary cap. As it stands today, I think with the additions at the deadline, I probably got to go Dallas.
Okay. Gager?
Probably got to go Dallas.
Vegas, Stone, and Hurdle back in the lineup. It's going to be Vegas.
I've been on Dallas the last few playoffs and Ottinger just has only been like meh so far this year.
He hasn't been great.
It's only one good playoffs, and he lost it.
I know.
He's a really good NHL goalie, but and I don't want to take anything away from him, but come on, guys. Like, he gets way too much praise.
All right, I'm taking Vegas. We'll go Vegas as the tiebreaker. I hate being tiebreaker guy. Do one of you guys want to be tiebreaker guy and I give my picks earlier, or are you okay with me being tiebreaker?
You go first. Then,
okay, I'll go first. Okay. Winnipeg, Colorado. I will take Colorado.
I'm going to take Winnipeg.
Oh, now Cass, you're tiebreaker guy.
Now I'm the tiebreaker. Colorado.
Colorado. Okay.
And Colorado.
All right. Yep. Excellent. Okay. Canucks, Preds. I will take. Man, I know that I'm not going to disrespect the Canucks. I've been doing it all year. They just continue to prove me wrong. I'll say the Canucks.
No, it's Nashville.
Too hot.
They're too hot.
Again, I think the Cinderella hotness runs out, and I'm going with the Canucks.
All right, so Vancouver advances over Nashville. All right,
the guy knows a lot about Cinderella too.
Well, it was a rom-com.
It was a rom-com. Yeah, 100%.
Edmonton and LA. I mean, Edmonton across the board.
I think Edmonton.
Okay, clean sweep Edmonton.
Yeah.
All right, so then this. Well, look at these West semis. Vegas, Colorado. Who would you take?
Ooh. I go Colorado. The luck runs.
I'll go Colorado too.
I think if I'd say I would take Vegas. Like if Vegas gets out again, I don't know if they do, but if they do have that $140 million salary cap, and if they beat Dallas, I think they beat Colorado.
Okay, well we got 2 on Colorado, so you're screwed anyway, Cass.
Yeah, whatever.
Vancouver, Edmonton. Edmonton.
Okay.
All right, so then we've got Edmonton versus Colorado in a conference final to play the Panthers. Colorado or Edmonton, boys?
I hate to say it, but I think I can't bet against Cale Makar. It's too hard. I go Colorado. It's too much.
Don't put me in this spot, Cass. I mean, what do you got?
I'm going to pick Edmonton.
You're gonna take Edmonton. Man, I should have said my pick earlier. Man, I think I have to side with Gager on the Cale Makar X factor here. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'll say Colorado.
You heard it here first. Dustin Nielson hates the Edmonton.
No. But I will say it's not like Eric Stewart's in there going traitor. Listen, their blue line is better than the Oilers' blue line. Mm-hmm. It is. Goaltending.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Colorado. So great. I'm the tiebreak there. Blame me. Colorado, Florida, Stanley Cup final. Who do you guys got?
Florida.
Between the two?
Yeah.
I hate it, but
I go Colorado. If it's Colorado, I go Colorado. We didn't make Gager tiebreak once.
I know. How do you go through the whole bloody playoffs and no tiebreak here, Gager?
It's all about when you pick. I made sure I wasn't the tiebreaker. So I look like a jerk because I did pick Colorado over Edmonton, but you said it, Dusty. The decor and Cale Makar. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt beating Vancouver with Quinn Hughes. I just think Cale Makar is crazy. It's so difficult to defend him.
And then Florida, Colorado. So you guys split on this. Man. I don't know how I'm supposed to go anti-Makar here earlier, but I do think Bobrovsky will be a difference maker in the series against Colorado. So I'll go Florida. So we'll crown Florida the Stanley Cup champions.
That was my thinking.
We will we'll do this again on Monday and see how the matchups have changed and our opinions. Wouldn't that be something? Again, next week on Tuesday, every single time until the playoffs. Bunch of different. I like you, Chaz, who says we now have to change the name of the show to One Guy and Two Traders. So let's, maybe that's the title of the show today. One Guy and Two Traders. That's how it works. Look, man, not everybody in the city. We can't all just sit in the city and be like, who are you picking to win the cup? The Oilers. Like, everybody's on the Oilers. Yeah, I mean, I'll be a little bit realistic about this. And I think the blue line is a difference maker in that series. All right, boys, I will let you go. Do we have a qualifier? All right, let's do it. We're calling our qualifier right now. What do you guys? Big plans? What are we doing? Dinners this weekend? What do you got on the go for Easter weekend?
Cass, what are you cooking?
I am doing gonna do a prime rib roast smoked on the
smoked prime rib roast.
Wow,
man, that's gonna.
Although I probably am gonna cut out the ribs. Like I'm gonna normally leave the ribs on there, but I'm probably gonna cut them out because I'll do the beef ribs separate. Like I'll smoke them too, but I'll have the ribs separate from the roast itself. That's my game plan, anyways.
Nice,
Gager. You're doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm just doing family. My mother-in-law's already got the ham picked out Sunday. Tonight I'm doing a braided pork loin with smoked bacon though. So
nice.
I think we're having Costco Alfredo chicken tonight for supper,
which is delicious.
It is delicious. I can't complain about it. I don't know what it is, but it's absolutely delicious. And then I'll send you guys
probably all the cheese and fat in it.
That must be what it is. I'll send you guys a picture of the frozen turkey loaf. We'll heat up on Sunday. It'll be delicious. I can't wait for that. All right, boys. Enjoy the long weekend. We'll chat with you guys on Tuesday. Later. There you go, Gager and Cass. One of those guys will be back for pregame tonight. I don't know, probably Cass, I would think. I'm looking at Matty like he knows. We don't know. I should have asked, I guess. But yeah, it should be Cass. 5:30 pregame tonight with Tommy Gazzola right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. All right, Matty, who's our qualifier?
Andrew is on the line.
All right, let's go to. Wait, this isn't the Berkshire, is it? If this is Andrew Berkshire right now, we're hanging up on him. He can't qualify. Let's go to Andrew. Andrew, congratulations. You're not the guy who hates Zach Hyman, are you?
On behalf of all Andrews, I got to say, I love Zach Hyman.
Yes.
I don't care if he's rich. I care that he's putting in 50 for the Oilers. Let's go.
I don't care if he's rich. I care that he's putting in 50. That's what he did. Andrew, you're our final qualifier of the day here today at Edmonton Sports Talk. Have you been to Vegas before?
No, never.
Oh, okay. Who would you bring with you? You married? You got a girlfriend? What are you doing?
I would bring my girlfriend.
Okay.
Not probably. I would. I would bring
You're
her.
locking that in now. Okay. All right.
Lock that in.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost 10 years. So a long time.
Dude, you've been dating her for 10 years?
Yeah, we're basically married. You know, we
okay.
do
I
our
was gonna
taxes
say.
together.
Yeah.
We're all, we're, we live together. We're all
Well,
good.
you know what? We'll talk to Paris Jewelers. We'll throw in a ring on this trip if you want to. You can get this thing done. Get this thing locked up.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Good luck and enjoy your long weekend.
Thanks, Dusty.
All right, there you go. Congratulations to Andrew, not Berkshire, who ended up. Wouldn't that have been something? What's your last name, Andrew? Berkshire. You guys are only giving this away because your parents are rich. My God. What a horrible take. All right, that is going to do it for our morning/early afternoon content here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We got more coming your way. Pre-game show at 5:30 today as Tommy Gazzola will be getting you ready for a huge game tonight between the Oilers and Kings. Should be a lot of fun. And I'll probably be sliding into the post-game, at least in the chat at some point tonight, chiming in and everything. It should be a good time. All right, for Cass and Gage and everybody here at Edmonton Sports Talk, Nielsen Show replay coming up over on TuneIn and iHeart and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And your next chance to qualify for the EST Flyway to Vegas with our partners at FlyYG. Hello Hockey on Saturday and then again on Monday on The Nielsen Show. Enjoy the long weekend, everybody. Thanks for the support and take it easy.